Hey, Bruce Reba here, author of Freedom's Quest on Amazon, Woodpecker on Kindle Vella, kayakingkc.com, and petturkeys.com. We talk about some of my upcoming projects, Comtex during the Space Shuttle program, and dive stories. 7 years a diver on the Eastern Test Range for the U.S. Air Force. So, probably my best story ever on the diving, traveling down to Ascension Island. It's just hard to fathom. All right, so backdrop. Oh my God. So, there was a time I met a young lady, and her family was into meditation. So I got into meditation, and then I took it a little to the extremes. Got into the Zen, and a lot of pretty cool stuff. And then so I came to this point where I was like, well, I'm in control of my body, and I was for the most part, but maybe not always. So, as a diver, anybody working on the test range on Ascension, you had to take the 141 Air Force cargo jet, 8 to 11 hour flight, and you'd stop at you'd leave Patrick Air Force Base and you'd stop at Antigua, West Indies, for some dinner. And I suppose I got food poisoning there at the Antigua tracking space. Had a rib dinner. So, hours later, I'm on this 141. Everyone is sleeping. Cold, long flight. Everyone's sound asleep, and I'm sitting there, and I'm getting upset. Well, I tell myself I'm in control. I refuse to get upset, and start getting nauseated. By the way, you might want to turn the channel off now. So I'm in control. I'm starting to get really sick, but I'm in control. I'm Zen. I am in control of my body. So I sat there in that seat, rather than running for the bathroom, I sat in that seat going, I'm in control. And finally there came a time when my body said, you must get rid of these ribs. And by the way, when I got hired on, I just got out of the Air Force, and I had grown a gigantic red beard. And nowadays that would be the in thing, but back then it just made it look like a red Bigfoot. So I'm sitting in that chair, zenning out and in control of my body, and those ribs come up. So I clamped my mouth shut. The ribs come up. I clamp my mouth shut. There's pressure. God, there's pressure building to expel those ribs and to breathe. And I got my mouth shut. So now I put my hand over my mouth, trying to help hold everything down. When finally the body says, you must expel these ribs. And because of the way I had my hand positioned, it was like a classic Monty Python movie when the ribs came out, and extremely difficult explosion through my fingers, which caused everything to go to aerate. I'm trying to think of the correct word, where everything turns into a mist. It turned into an airborne mist across 4 rows of sleeping people. So I was sitting there, pretty disappointed with myself that I was not in control of my body. And no one woke up. Found my boss, my new boss I just hired on with the divers. My new boss come walking by and he looks at me and he goes, "Go to the restroom and clean yourself up." So, So I was disgusted and embarrassed, and it failed that I didn't control my body like a good Zen artist might. So I got up, walked down the aisle, past all these sleeping people, and walked into the Air Force lavatory. I looked in the mirror, and there's all these giant chunks of ribs in my red beard. Oh my God. So I cleaned myself up. And by the way, when I got to Ascension, I found a razor and shaved that beard off. But anyway, those people sleeping still had no idea that I had did an aerial spray over them. And I don't know at what point, because on that Air Force jet, there's no sound. Everyone's wearing earplugs. So no one knew, the sleeping folks didn't know that there had been an explosion on my part. So I had to think about maybe retelling this story because it's pretty gross, but Bruce Reba out.